Encoding overloaded, considering turning down videos or using encoding overloaded. Consider turning down video settings or using. What am I using? It's not telling me what I'm using. Here's Johnny. All right. Now, I don't know how to put a tag on this. I probably should have put a tag on this because, after all, we're trying to get a couple people watching. And you know what? Really? Are you? I got no watchers, none whatsoever. I can talk. I can just sit here and talk and shoot the shit and talk about whatever the fuck I please. I'll try and watch my language, right? And I'll try and be that guy. And tags on this. If I could put a tag on it, that might be better. But you know what? Hey, I'm just a guy. Just a guy, right? Look at me. There. How's that? How's that? That's that. That's that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play with this a lot, but we can talk. You know what? What do we got? We got anybody on? Chat rate. I got one. No, no views. I got chat rate though. What the hell does that mean? Oh, let's start. Let's go this way. I gotta look at. Remember to look at the camera. You're right there. My father, good man. He was a good man. I say that. He was a good man. He didn't beat me. He taught me right from wrong. Tried to make sure I knew what the fuck was going on in the world. One thing my father said, and he always did it, but he said it: don't ever talk politics, hockey, or religion when you've been drinking with friends. And yet, every Saturday night, at least at our house, that's what happened. The boys would get together. Dad went, these guys all grew up together. Suggestion, open studio. Sure, I'll open studio. What are we opening? I don't even know what the fuck we're opening. Let's open it. Let's get her going. But anyway, Dad said, the boys would get together. They'd have a couple drinks, and we're Canadian. I'm a Canadian, so of course, you're talking hockey. So you're talking the Leafs, and you're talking back then. You had 20 teams, I think, at the time, back in the early '70s. Uh, create a highlight moment. I don't know. Oh, what if I is high? So what do I do? I don't know how to do. Am I still going? I think I'm still going. Video rate. Video capture rate? They wanted me to turn something down. I can't figure this. I'm just going to keep going until they throw up another fucking message at me. No views, no chat rate, no concurrent viewers. That sucks. Settings. And they were worried about the. I hit settings. Oh, there we go. Stream, output, ignoring service. No, let's not. Yeah, no, no. Output, streaming bit rate. Do we want to bring that down? Whoops. Bring it down there. Let's see if that does anything. Go apply and go okay. See, the funny part is I don't know. I don't know how to get this out. Like I don't know on YouTube. I don't know what the hell to do on YouTube to make sure this is getting anywhere. I'm not sure if there's a live. Ooh, what happened there? Ooh. Oh, can I make this? Oh, that's the control. So can I stretch this right? Oh, I can't, but it's no fucking good. Okay, but then if I bring it over to here, oh, such an odd setup. Hmm. Sure. I don't need that. Do I need that though? I don't think. Docs menu on the menu bar. Okay. That was the docs. Awk doc, full doc, reset doc, custom browser docs. Okay. Again, right? I can sit here and talk all I want. Actually, I probably should have closed that doc because I don't know if there's anybody here. Fuck. What do we got here? We got control stats chat. Oh, there it is. Let's go with that one. That should be the right. There we go. I wish I knew how to promote this right now. So let's not in the view. No. It's not in the docs. I've already been there. No, not tools. And then to get started, we're going to select a stream. We want the stream that's just a guy. Just a guy, man. That's all I am. Just a guy. No fucking brighter than most. Common sense does prevail for the most part every once in a while. I want to get into a thoughtful discussion with people. Right? Oh, there we go. That's better. I like that. That's fantastic. I want to get into a discussion. I want to talk to people. I want to fucking let people know that just because the fucking pencil headed fucking politics and politicians got it all fucked up, don't mean we got it all fucked up, folks. It's all well and good to say, hey, I want to go online. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to John Q. fucking Public. I want to talk to Mr. and Mrs. fucking America. That's who I want to talk to. I don't want to talk to some pinhead. You know what? You know who I'd like to talk to? I'd like to talk to POTUS. Nobody? Come on. That should have just clicked somewhere. That word should have at least triggered some window somewhere. What do I get? Do I get a junior field agent in Duluth? Right? I'm not hiding. You know where I am. You know who I am. You can trace me right to my fucking front door. Go right ahead. I don't care. What I want to know is why Donald Trump continues to lie, because he is, and why I want to know why you, the American public, are continuing to listen to him. We are not your fentanyl issue. Let's make that very clear. Fentanyl is coming into your country, unfortunately. All right. I don't want to pull fingers at anybody, but if you're not going to quote facts, I am. And unfortunately, when you quote facts, you're going to piss somebody off. So that's fine. I don't mean to. Mexico as a country has done me no wrong, same as the United States. You've done me no wrong. I actually know a few Americans. You're decent people, right? Same as us. We're decent people. We're Canadians. We're decent. Do we have assholes? Yep. We got fucking doughheads? Yep. You've got them too. And right now, you got one running your country, and unfortunately, well, fortunately, I did have one running my country. He's going away very soon. Nobody? Right? I don't want to go on a rant. Shared stream URL. Okay, so now if I come to here and I go to here and I go back to I want to go back. I want to go to YouTube. There we go. Namaste. Namaste. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yes, it's me. Yes, it's me. Used him. How do I advertise a live? Oh, look at me right there. Just a guy. All right, so we're still, that means we're back over here. All right. So because I left, it wants to fucking redo all this shit again. I think we're, are we still going? YouTube, what's this? What's this? I don't know if we got anybody in. I don't know if you're here. If you're running through, throw your name in the chat. Let's talk. Come on. I'm looking for some Americans. I'm looking for some Canadians. I'm looking for some people who got some fucking common sense. Come on. You cannot continue to let that gentleman run your country the way he is. He's going to throw us into a goddamn recession again. We're just getting out of one. POTUS, President of the United States. Mr. President of the United States of America. You, sir. You are without a doubt the most confounding individual, human being I have had the, I don't know if it's a great honor to watch. I've watched you. I've been watching you since the 80s. You've gone bankrupt a couple times. You've rolled the dice more than a few times. You're coming out on top for the most part. What I don't understand is that as a businessman, is that somebody who relies on a supply chain to get your stuff done, you would actually increase the costs knowingly on your goods that your company relies on because you think Canada is the source of all your fentanyl and illegal alien issues? You people can't believe that. Alabama, New Mexico, Alaska, Hawaii, Florida, Texas, California, New York, Boston. Where else? Washington, Washington State, Baltimore Harbor. These are all places that actually I named off a whole whack. That was to show that I'm talking to all these. I'm not just talking to one of these. I'm talking to all these. Everybody in America, from Hawaii to Maine, from where's the Florida Keys, all the way up to Alaska. You people have got to get your president back in line. We are not your problem. We are not your issue. Neither is Mexico. Really, like they're not. We have to look at. We had NAFTA in place. Nobody there. I don't want to talk anymore. We had NAFTA in place, North American Free Trade Agreement. That was supposed to make it easier for our three countries, Mexico, the United States, and Canada, to work well together, to develop a free trade zone where we as three countries could thrive, exporting our goods that other countries need and importing theirs that we don't have. And it was supposed to make us all better. It was supposed to bring up Mexico, it was supposed to bring up the States, it was supposed to help all our countries. I'm old enough, I went through it. I remember the tariff wars of the 70s, and there was a lot of them. There should be no excuse for a 25% or whatever the goddamn raise. I don't even watch the news anymore because it's so screwed. But you can't impose additional tariffs on top of the tariffs you already impose to protect your industries. And that's why those tariffs are in place, people. For all you people that don't know any better, you hear a tariff and you go, "Oh, what is a tariff? Oh, it's a tax. Okay, cool." There's already built-in tariffs in the agreements, trade agreements between our country and yours, Canada and the US, and probably between Canada and Mexico, Canada and the US, and US and Mexico, right? We all have tariffs. That's to protect the industries that we have that other people have industries. So that's one is the dairy industry. Both our countries, or states and Canada, have a thriving dairy industry. So there's tariffs already in place to protect our industries so that our industries are able to make a good imprint in the market, thereby making money, thereby keeping the industry going, thereby making our country better as a whole. That's economics in a nutshell, people. The product gets made, gets consumed, then you have enough people producing it so that everybody gets to consume it. It should level out. It should come in at a nice price and we should all live with it. That's economics in a fucking peanut in a shell. That's economics, folks. We don't. All right, let's put it this way: the border between Canada and US, minimum, minimum 5,000 kilometers. If you add in Alaska, right, and then come across 1,000 kilometers, just for round numbers. I like round numbers. They're easy, right? We can all remember round numbers. 5,000 kilometers, which it's 2.2 miles per kilometer, something like that. So you can do the math if you so desire. Just accept that it's 5,000 kilometers, give or take. That, for the most part, is an unguarded, unguarded border. It's like having a fence. Me and my neighbor. Having a fence, me and my neighbor. Actually, not my neighbors. My parents' neighbors, but same shit, different. I don't jump my neighbor's fence. If I need to go into their backyard, hi, can I go into their backyard? I threw my ball over your fence or whatever it might be. And that's the way Canada and the States is, for the most part. You're going to find border crossings, right? Controlled border crossings. There's four of them in Ontario, one in Manitoba, one in Saskatchewan. I think there's two in Alberta, and maybe two in BC that, as far as I know, but these are controlled, and that's where your cargo and your stuff goes through, right? Trust me, smugglers aren't hiking 2,000 pounds of fentanyl across a fucking wooded border in the middle of northern Ontario, right? It's not, that's not the way it's going. They're coming in through the border. They're coming into our country the same way they come into your country. They're being shipped in, smuggled in, flown in, take your pick. However, we're not the issue for fentanyl. We're not. So I don't know why Trump wants to keep throwing that around. Oh, it's fentanyl. And the illegal immigrants. Really? We have illegal aliens crossing into our country from the States in the middle of winter. Like, I consider myself pretty educated. I read pretty well. I grew up in a I grew up in the 70s. Not that that makes a difference, but I was educated fairly well. Pretty intelligent person, curious as a kid. I did a lot of reading. I don't know the quote off by heart, but I do know it. It's give me your poor, give me your weak, your tired, huddled masses. Something along the lines. That's what it says on the Statue of Liberty. Now it might as well say the goddamn door is closed, because that's the way you people seem to be behaving. That's up to you. That's your immigration policy. But your country was founded on people that wanted to have a better life. Plain and simple. You're a country of immigrants. So is Canada. Plain and simple. That's how we grow. You guys are a melting pot. The American melting pot, I think it's called. Canada is a mosaic. We like mosaic. It's a melting pot. It's the same shit. It's bringing people in to make your country better and helping it grow. 400 million people in the States. You need to keep growing. Like, that's the thing, right? So Canada's only got 40 million. So what's Trump's end game? Mr. President, what is your end game here? What's your goal? Come on and talk to me. By now, somebody somewhere in the U.S. government is watching me fucking belt out to a fucking empty room, 000. But I'm going to keep going for a while. I'm going to hope that just by me flapping my lips and sitting here talking and trying to get a conversation going, that maybe somebody will join in. Somebody might want to say, hey, listen, you got it wrong. Really? Not from where I stand. I know as much about your country as I do about mine. Actually, probably more. That's kind of sad. Um, but partially that's because of your history, right? You're a country born of a rebellion. Ominous. Boston Tea Party, 1776, Valley Forge, Bunker Hill, John Adams, One Life to Live, Alan Hale, something Hale. I would say Alan Hale Jr., but that was Skipper on on Gilligan's Island. Hale. That was the guy that the British hung. But I regret I have about one life to live for my country, right? And then you fought your War of Independence, right? Not John, George Washington, first president of the United States. I think a three-term president, if I'm not mistaken, or it was a three-term, whatever. Um, right? A lot of your history gets thrown around because it gets used in movies, popular culture, pop culture, right? We all know, we've heard the names Davy Boone. Boone? No. Davy Boone? No. Boone. William Boone. William Tell. Isn't that suck? See, I hate when that happens, right? You got all this, I got a lot of knowledge of useless information. Full of it. I'm good at Trivial Pursuit. Useless information, but sometimes you get older, right? That's older, right? The file system gets a little jumbled, so you got to kind of fucking get it back in place. Davy Crockett, Davy Crockett, Daniel Boone. There you go. Right? Those are the Davy Crockett was the Alamo, I think. Jim Bowie, Jim Bowie, Bowie. How do you pronounce it? Bowie or Bowie? Um, what to watch next? Oh, okay, all right. So we might hit somebody in the what to watch next. So I'm going to keep going. But anyway, back to the history and back to where we were going with this. Um, we're not much different, Americans and Canadians, right? For the most part, we're the same people, right? It's a geopolitical division that we have to deal with, but we're all the same, right? Canada was born of England, same as you guys were, right? You know what I mean? It I guess I don't understand what pisses me off. What fucking pisses me off is that as a country, because that's what it seems from where we stand, as a country, you don't seem to be paying attention to what Donald Trump is saying about Canada. And for those of you who don't know, oh, there we go. Let's do that while we're going, right? For those of you who don't know, Canada's been around since 1867. Canada was essentially settled back in the 1500s by John Cabot, the oldest Anglo American Anglo they're not Anglo French settlement, French settlement, oldest settlement in Western Hemisphere or in North America is Quebec City. Um, and then Plymouth, or maybe Plymouth is might be Plymouth, but Quebec City is the oldest walled city still standing, something like that, or active city, something like that. Anyway, but we're all the same. Like we're not your enemy. We're not your problem. We're not your friend, or we are your friend. We're Canadian. We're everybody's friend. This is the thing. We are everybody's friend. We're that friend. We would stay out till 3 in the morning, go home, go to bed, get a call at 4 in the morning, and it'd be you. I can't walk. I need a ride. We would get dressed, go outside in a snowstorm, hop in the car, go pick you up, take you home, probably bring you back here, let you sleep the night off, give you breakfast in the morning, and then give you a ride home. That's what a Canadian does. We're nice people. Piss us off like you're doing, you're going to start to get backlash. Plain and simple. Like don't keep don't keep throwing the ball against the window or against the wall. Throw the ball against the window, against the wall. You got this little space, you got windows all around. I'm confident I can hit that little space every time. Don't. Like throw it against the wall. Bing, bing, bing. Am I pissing you off yet? Now you've totally pissed me off. Now you've got me upset. Now you've got me to the point where I'm Joe Blow Canadian. I'm Canadian. Sitting on here on YouTube, 000 across the board. I don't care. I'm going to keep talking. Today's one of those days. I've had it. And I just want somebody to go, yeah, you know, we don't hate you. We're not we're not blaming you. You elected them, so I guess I can slightly blame you. But from a Canadian to an American, I want you to know we're not mad at you. We're not. We don't control what goes on. We're not the ones pulling the strings. We're not the one making the decisions. We are the peons. Plain and simple. We're the cogs in the machine. But the fact of the matter is, if you put you and me in a backyard at a barbecue and a beer without saying, hey, I'm Canadian or hey, I'm American, you wouldn't be able to tell us apart. Come on, somebody click the link. Come and talk. Let's have a conversation. Like my picture right there? It's Three Sisters, three mountains out by Canmore, Alberta. Gorgeous country. Named the Three Sisters. So that's a picture I bought. We bought my parents for their anniversary. 50th? Yeah, I think we bought them for that. Bought them that for their 50th. Come on, somebody come in and say hi. Let's have a conversation. Where are you from? You're from Maine. Maine looks really gorgeous. Maine looks like the East Coast of Canada, right? That's what I said. It's North America is North America, right? Realistically, should we be all one country? Yeah, probably would have been the best thing in years past, but it is what it is. We're not going to become the 51st state. Just so we're all clear on this. You're not going to come into our country and take us over. Please don't even try. It, there's a playbook on how to beat you, plain and simple. It's been used one, two, three. It's been used 3 times against you, and you've lost every time. So please don't. We are friends. You don't want to piss us off. Why poke us? Why say, well, maybe, I'd be better off. You'd be better off being American. Actually, what was the quote? Here's the fucking quote from President. Um, Trump quote on Canada. Anybody yet? Nope. Okay. Trump says he's serious about wanting Canada to become the 51st U.S. state. I think Canada would be much better off being the 51st state because we lose 200 billion a year with Canada. How? How do you lose? Now, somebody who might know the answer right now is saying, "Well, it's the trade balance." I know what the trade balance is. I'm asking a rhetorical question. How do you, as a country, lose to us in trade? What are you importing from us where you're losing that much money? You pay a shit for our oil, and our oil is worth just this grading of oil. I realize why it's done, right? But the fact that you grade our oil 3 grades below your West Texas crude, go fuck yourselves for once. That's what I tell you. Our oil better than better than the shit. Better, it's as good as anybody else's. We're not fucking Saudi Arabia, and we're not Venezuela. Venezuela technically is a communist country. It is basically a dictatorship. That's for sure. Might be communist. And Saudi Arabia is a dictatorship. That right? So and you guys get pissed off. I would like to know what your trade deficit is with Saudi Arabia. That would be very interesting to know. So, imports. Okay. So, why are we, so the final quote from Trump is, why are we paying 200 billion a year, essentially a subsidy to Canada? You're not. You're paying us for the goods that we produce as a country that you need. Plain and simple. We we are your number one trading partner. You realize that, right? So, all right. So the U.S. is not subsidizing Canada. The U.S. buys products from the natural resource rich nation, including commodities like oil. Now, the trade gap in goods has ballooned in recent years to 72 billion in 2023. Deficit largely reflects America's imports of Canadian energy. So, I would love to see some numbers on this. Uh, Claims that Canada, so this is Trump, this is on the Sunday going to the Super Bowl, claims Canada is not viable as a country without US trade and warned that the founding 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 NATO member can no longer depend on the US for military protection. Really? All right. They nothing stave off the tariffs. 30-day pause, 25%. Which would be taxed. It's if they charge us, we charge them. Yep. Okay. Are we nobody yet? Just so I can. So. Still nobody. Okay, Google. What was the trade deficit between the United States and Saudi Arabia last year? Okay. So again, you have a 200 billion. How do you have a $200 billion trade deficit with us? That's what I want to know. And it's not energy. Again, you go onto the stock exchange. We buy a lot of products from you guys. I know we do, right? I do the shopping for my family. I know where shit's made. I know where it comes from. So I still don't understand why he wants to pick on us. It makes no sense. You don't subsidize our country. Go fuck yourself, you pinheaded prick. You orange fucking crayon. Our country. So you think we couldn't survive if we weren't trading with you? Okay. So then we start to trade with Asia, Australia, Europe. Take a couple years, we'd balance it back. And in doing so, we would wipe away our reliance on you because then we would get, you know, stuff from other countries. See, this is it. Why piss each other off? Why are we like, why throw fucking rocks at the guy's house? Like, why are you doing this, man? Seriously. We're trying to get the economy up and running. By you imposing extra tariffs, you're going to slow the economy down. You're going to cause a recession. And are you going to make America great again? No, you're not. I would argue America hasn't been great for a long goddamn time. And you know this. We're not perfect. I'm not perfect. But as a country, Canada, we're pretty good. And there's reason that you people want, right? I talk to Americans all the time. They're like, I love Canada. Love coming down. Because, and even though it's winter, right? It is winter here. So there's snow on the ground. I open my window, I'm looking at 5 feet of snow on the front lawn. Right. I'm not even in the mountains. I'm in eastern, well, technically I'm in central Ontario. So I'm basically right up and down in line with James Bay, Hudson Bay in the north, and I'm just north of Toronto, but we're in a snow belt. We're right on the Great Lakes, right? We're getting hammered. It's one of those years. But it's just it just amazes me that somebody who's supposed to be a businessman would want to go this route, would want to impose these kind of restrictions on materials that you need. We actually have certain things in Canada. We're the only people that have certain things. Us and Russia have certain minerals, and we're the only countries that have it. And you need it. It's actually quite you're quite dependent on it. I don't understand why. Look at me. Why? Why would you do this? Seriously, are you sitting there? Are you sitting in your office or are you sitting in the Lincoln bedroom or one of the other rooms in your White House and sitting here watching me because you can, because you're the president, so you can pretty much get VPN access and nobody can see you're online and whatever, whatever. But are you sitting there laughing? Right? This is what I want to know. What is your fucking problem? What is your game? Repeal the tariffs. Put everything back to where it was. It works. Let's get our country. You want to make America great again. You know what? Why don't you fix America? Making it great again means you got to fix it. Means you got to do work before you can make it great. So why don't you fix your country? I was born in 1969, a month before you set foot on the moon. Great, great technological achievement. At the same time, you were spending untold and totaled afterwards $10 trillion, trillion, to wage a war in Southeast Asia that was ideology based. It's been shown you fabricated it. I remember the end of the Vietnam War. I remember as a child sitting there watching them dump helicopters off the back of the aircraft carriers in 75 when they uh, um, evacuated Seoul. You are capable of such great feats of technological, just blowing people's minds. The space shuttle, Candarm, that was us. That was our contribution to that, right? Like, don't discount us. But through the 70s, I watched Tricky Dick. I remember Tricky Dick. I watched that go down. Tricky Dick. And then you had Gerald Ford. Gerald Ford, here's a nice little web we weave. I love this one. Gerald Ford sat on the, what's the name of the judge? What's the name of the judge? I can't remember his name. Oh, what was the name of the judge? I can't remember his name. Oh, sat on the committee that was brought in by Johnson right after Kennedy was assassinated. Chief Justice report. What was the report? Anyway, it's been shown and it's known and it's been proven. Gerald Ford altered the report of the Kennedy assassination. So don't trust Ford any farther than you can throw him. If he didn't think it, he knew what the fuck was going. He just knew he knew good enough to stay away from Nixon and let Nixon hang himself. Like, let's be honest, Ford wasn't stupid. Spiro Agnew was, though, apparently. And then we got Jimmy Carter, and he got some, and that, yeah. So Carter, here's another one. All right, so 70, 76 to 80. I remember the lineups. I remember OPEC shutting the taps off on you guys, brought you to your knees in a heartbeat. Summer of 77. I remember Abscam. And a lot of you were like, well, Abscam, look it up. Your congressman taking bribes from Arab businessmen, right? That happened in the 70s. Then we come into the 80s. You brought in Reagan. You brought in Ronnie. Ronnie, rah, rah, Mr. America. I got no problem with being proud of your country. Be proud of your country. I'm proud of mine. You brought in Reagan, brought in Star Wars, heated up the Cold War, and then we had Iran Contragate. You had Ollie North and Faith Hill. And then you re-elected senile old man Reagan for a second term. And you elected Bush. And then we went to war. First Gulf War. Could have been the only Gulf War. We went in as a democratic, peace loving, no, not peace loving, democratic fight, a democratic force to restore a government who had been illegally overthrown by a neighboring country. That should have been the start of trying to fix and forge new relations in the Middle East. It was the perfect time to get with all these people and say, okay, we want to help. And I realize it's tied to Israel. That's a whole different ballgame. So we'll go there some other day. Then we came into 1,000 points of light. And Congress will ask me to raise taxes, and I'll say, no, no new taxes. But we'll pump that deficit hard. And you had Bill Clinton. 8 years of Bill. Love Bill. Bill was kind of fun to watch. And you had Monica Lewinsky. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I can't quite do that, son. I can't do the Bill Clinton. I can do it. I can do Jimmy Carter. I'm Jimmy Carter. Proud to be your president. George Bush. Everybody can do George Bush. I can't do George Bush. Can't do anything. Let's be honest. And then after Clinton's fun and games, he prodded George W. I have no problems with going into Afghanistan. 9/11 was horrific. All I've done right now is talk about your history, and somebody might go, "Hey, we know all about our own history." Do you really? 1980? Actually, 400 and some odd days, so 1978 somewhere, November something or other. Students overrun the Tehran embassy in Iran. 12? A number. And like we're not talking two or three. We're talking I think it was 12. But anyway, American consulate employees found their way to the Canadian consulate. We helped hide and then we helped get them out of the country because we're your friend. Plain and simple. 2001, September 11th. I remember the day. I know exactly where I was. I was sitting right over there in a chair. My mother phoned me, said, "Turn the TV on." I turned on CNN and I watched the start of 9/11. By the end of that day, when your airways were shut down, where did those planes go? And the transatlantic crossings coming into the States. So they're either visitors, tourists, or they're your citizens. Do you know where all those do you know where all those people went? Do you know where all those planes landed? Because they weren't allowed to land in the States. Guess where they landed? Gander, Newfoundland, Canada. Again, we were there to help you because you're our friend. We're yours. First Gulf War, we were there. We had troops, we had combat units there. We were even stupid enough to follow you into the Second Gulf War. At the time, we all thought that was a good idea. But as we've learned, you okay, your president or okay, here's where it gets fun and funky. Let's run this one for a second. Second Gulf War. Somebody lied. Colin Powell stood out on a. I watched him explain how they had launchers, they had bio engineered weapons, they had this, they had that, we had to get Saddam Hussein under control. We had to go in and we had to take care of him because if not, he was going to create issues. Okay, fine. We'd all watched him for 30 odd years. You put him in power, by the way, you jackasses, because you knew he would fight Iran for you. He used him to fight Iran for 8 years. But anyway, where the fuck were we there? Oh, yeah. You. So one of two things is true here. Either the Bush administration conspired and doctored evidence to allow to create the ability for Congress to allow you guys to go back into Iraq the second time around. So either they lied, or B, your intelligence factory, your intelligence community, your intelligence community lied. Who's your intelligence community? Remind me again. A couple of those three alphabet name agencies. You got the NSA, National Security Agency. Ooh. You got the defense, National Defense Agency. You got a defense agency. You got a DFA. I think it's DFA. You got the DEA. We all know the Drug Enforcement Administration. Most useless. You guys have fucked that up from day one, but that's a whole other ballgame. But you got the NSA. You got the FBI. But when you go to the country, who's your intelligence people? Who do you rely on to tell you what's going on in the world? Ooh, CIA. Huh. So again, we get back to the original part. Second Gulf War. Who lied? Was it the administration fudging the evidence to be able to provide a platform to go into war in Iraq? Or was it the CIA that doctored all the evidence and lied as they were briefing the president and Colin Powell? Before Colin Powell went out and on the floor, I'm pretty sure it was on the floor of the Congress and explained why. Oh my God, we have to go to war, and this is why. Look at all this evidence, and he brought out pictures, and the easel, and blah, 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 blah. So who lied that day? Somebody lied. We know now he did not have mobile biological weapons producing plants. He did not have weapons of mass destruction. So again, who lied? What I find over the years, what I've found is it's easy to spot the liars if you can figure out who gains the most. Who gained the most out of this? Did the states? Better access to oil? It doesn't seem to be. That seems to be about the same. They created more issues than anything when they overthrew Saddam. They know how to fucking break up a country. They're sure shit don't know how to fix it. Dick Cheney made a lot of money off that war. Fucking Halliburton made a shit ton of money off that war. Right? I can sit here all day and throw darts at you guys, and I don't want it. I want to have a conversation and tell normal American citizen, we're not pissed. Not at you. It's your goddamn president. Why kick the dog? Like, why? Why are we going through all this horse shit? I've been online now for how long have I been online? I don't even know. It doesn't tell me. It should tell me somewhere how long I've been running for. Almost an hour. Look at that. No problem. What else you want to talk about? You want to talk sports? Yeah, Four Nations Cup. Canada guy, right? Gotta have cop. Gotta have a hockey talk somewhere along the way. We're a day removed, or one day before. So today's a Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow will be the 18th, 19th of February. But tomorrow night we'll have the championship game of the Four Nations Cup between USA and Canada. Previous game, USA won 3-1. It was a good game. That was three fights right off the bat. That was good hockey to start. Had some good passion, right? Boys, this is not a bunch of spoiled athletes going out playing a game. This is not even close to that. Watch the passion. You watch the there's some hatred in there. And you've also got guys on Canada and the US teams who are actually teammates on what we would call their club teams or their NHL teams, right? So, but there is hatred between certain players off each country. And these are not guys that play on the same team. So the hatred might be also might be cooked in a little bit from NHL, but there is you put the maple leaf on, you play to win. We don't piss around. So it should be a good game tomorrow night. I hope it's a blowout or not a blowout. I want a high score. I want for once in this tournament, I want like a 7-6, 7-5, something like that. Just a pure just who can score more. Plain and simple. Because the object of the game is to score more than your opponent. Let's pump the opponent. 7. I'd love to see 8. 8 past Hallebuck. That's a tall order. I love Connor Hellebuck. He is one of the best goalies. He's top 5 goalie in the NHL this year. We're gonna pump 7 past him? Probably not. We get 4 past him. Hell, we get 3 past him. If we can get 3 past Hellebuck tomorrow, we win. Plain and simple, right? If he's giving up 3 goals, that means then we're gonna get into your backups. You don't have good backups. You have Hellebuck. So if we can get 3 goals past Hellebuck and get him out, then we'll get into your backup. Yeah. Anyway, I need another coffee. Hello. Good, you? Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah.